one of the most hurtful things ever is when you're so close to a girl and then she gets married or she starts dating someone or whatever, and then you're a piece of shit. To her, you mean nothing. Her entire life is her boyfriend,
Zainab,
her husband,
I don't know you.
Whoever it is, you know what I mean?
I know you.
I will hunt you down and kill you. Hey, and welcome to the first episode
Of Sprinkles and
Spice.
We never thought we'd be here. We never thought we'd do a second.
Oh my God, you're being
Every
the drama right now.
Every episode would be like, they thought we couldn't.
We never thought we'd make it this far.
Episode 10.
But we're yeah, so this is our signature, the horn.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear it throughout the episode. Listen, we're gonna try not to overkill it though.
Just for the AirPod Max use. Rich people who have AirPod Max, just for you. Tell us the quality.
But anyway, so today's episode is actually, I'm so excited for this. I think we've been super excited this entire week to talk about it, and we have a lot to say. What?
We've been excited to talk about this for a year since we've met.
Seriously,
because it's always our topic of
We've been
conversation.
so excited to tell people our love story. So let's tell them what the topic is, though.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be talking about
girls.
Girls.
Girls. Alexa, play girls. I'm kidding. We do have an Alexa.
So basically everything female friendships, female relationships, and navigating them, all the above. But before we start, we're going to tell you a beautiful story about me and Mia. We met.
I had no idea this was going. I was like, "What's story?"
I don't know. I just thought we should start with that.
Yeah.
It's an amazing love story.
It actually, honestly, it's really a story.
But I think like when you and I met, it just was like instant bond. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I literally like saw her at a get together.
Yeah.
And do you want to say what kind of get together it was? Honestly, let's do it.
Yeah.
So we met at a speed dating thing.
But it's not as serious. Hold on. One of our friend got dumped, and we all gathered together to do a fun speed dating. Everyone kind of knew each other or knew of each other. So it wasn't like a serious.
Didn't show up, honestly. I kind of didn't want to show up.
Same.
We both kind of didn't want to show up, but we ended up going. I walk in and I see Mia like literally in front of my face, and I'm like, who is this really hot queen? And I don't know, I just felt like this really good energy. And I go up to her and I'm like, hi, I'm Zainab. And then you were like, hi, I'm Mia. And then we interacted the entire night between like the speed dating thing. And then towards the end, we were all supposed to like pick our favorite person.
Pick our romantic choice.
And the options were really not giving. They were not giving anything. So without us even knowing, we were like, I want to pick Mia. And you said, I want to pick Zainab.
Yeah. And then they were like, no, you have to pick a romantic choice.
Haters.
And I was like, no, I want to pick her.
Yeah.
I think she's my life partner.
Yeah. And then we were inseparable. We were literally sitting next to each other, being the loudest, doing the most.
Everyone thought we were our own friends could not get a word in because we wouldn't shut up.
Yeah. We were just like sitting there arm in arm. Like we literally just met an hour ago and we're like, that's it. Khas, it's done.
Bye everyone. And they lived happily ever after.
No, but I think realistically, like it did take us a while to get close. Like we knew we were going to get close, but it wasn't something like, oh my God, we got close like immediately. Like we kind of built up. And then it was, I think towards,
I think a year after I met you.
Yeah.
Is actually.
Also because you were going back and forth.
Yeah,
so
I didn't live here full time.
Yeah. But then like, I don't know, it was crazy. Like we realized how we were so similar.
Yeah.
But different in some ways, but mostly similar. And it was just like the greatest love story.
And this is why we're here. And that, kids, is how I met your mother.
No homo. Anyways, we're not trying to get into any trouble here.
I'm gonna cry.
But let's begin with have your sip of water.
I will spit it all over. So just let me drink.
But basically, we're going to start obviously with female friendships and the complexities of female friendships.
And just the dynamic of being females in general, I think.
Yeah. So tell me your experience with female friendships.
So I grew up in a house where I was the only child, and I grew up more with like my mom, my dad, my uncles, and my grandma. But my mom's girlfriends, because she's like the only girl between her brothers, were always over. And I always really liked, so my mom and I were super close, and growing up, she was my best friend, and I'd go with her everywhere. And I always liked her friendships, like she always had her girlfriends over, and I saw some of her girlfriends get dumped, fall in love, get me. I saw the support group and the sisterhood sort of that her friends and her had. And so it's something I always wanted. So as a kid, obviously I'm a kid, like I don't have like that deep bond with girls.
Yeah.
And then when I went to college, my friendships with my girlfriends like really cemented itself. Like I became really close to some of my high school friends, even though we were in the same city. And then I also met some girls, because in college you really need girlfriends.
Of course, yeah.
And these people to this day, they've become like my sisters, Same with my master's. I came out with like a couple of sisters. Like same with after work, after college, I met you.
Yeah.
And we immediately became super close. And I think as my life has evolved and I've been through trials and tribulations, I've made amazing friendships, but I've also outgrown childhood friends.
Yeah. And I think that's something you and I talked about as well, where we were like, there is this pressure to be close to your childhood friends. And like people don't talk about how like sometimes you can meet your like closest girlfriend later
in your 20s,
in your 30s. But I mean, for me, it hasn't been easy. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I grew up surrounded by a lot of feminine energy, but I grew up surrounded by a lot of strong women. So, my mom has 5 sisters, and I also have a sister. And also, I think growing up here, because there is a lot of segregation, so you are surrounded by a lot of feminine energy. But I also think that contributes a little to the complexities or the issues that we have in the region with like navigating female friendships as well. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for me, I feel like there was a time like before I met you, I was being so like, this is gonna get so sappy, but I remember
do you have tissues? She's gonna
get us tissues. We need tissues because I'm about to cry. No, I'm kidding. Thought it was actually gonna get up and get tissues.
He's like not shocked. He's like, hey, yeah.
No, seriously, like before I met you, and I think a lot of like my guy friends could like attest to that. I was like, I would tell them, not that I'm over you guys, but I need a close female friend. Like I had female friendships, but it wasn't like your person. And like I had just had a falling out with my best friend. She was like my ride or die for 7 years, and then all of a sudden ghost. So not gonna joke about her. Like it was hurtful. Like honestly, I told you, like it was worse than a breakup. Like it was one of the hardest things ever to navigate, like or to go through, because like you share so much with your close girlfriend. Like you can have so many girlfriends, but it's so important to have like that one or two or however many that are like your everyday, like your ride or die for real. So that's who she was for me. And then losing her was like the worst thing ever. And like I remember I was so angry, but I didn't know how to show it. And I was a little traumatized from like, trying to let my guard down with someone like a new girlfriend.
It's like a breakup. I think people always talk about like the trauma of getting dumped or a breakup or something, right? But they don't talk enough about the trauma of a friendship breakup, because to me, a friendship breakup, I had one last year and it was devastating to me.
It is, yeah. Especially like someone who you are so raw with, who you're so yourself, they see a version of you that no one sees. And then they're out of your life. And like, for me, it was so sudden. Like, it was like she just stopped responding and I didn't know why. I didn't know what happened. I never got closure or anything. So I had to really like give myself that closure. But then I feel like it was also perfect timing, because I feel like she created that space for you to come in. And I feel like my issues with female friendships is that I kind of gaslight myself into staying in them. Like I kind of,
Just like a relationship.
yeah. So I see the red flags, but I'm like, no. And I'm like fully supportive. And I'm always like, no, she's amazing. She's awesome. She's this, she's that. And I think because I was so desperate for, and I'm not ashamed to say it. Like I've always wanted like close female friends.
I mean, like, because also like, let's be honest, TV shows, like media, like we love that. In groups, we love seeing two singers like super close. We love that. I grew up, I didn't grow up with the Spice Girls as much as you did, but I grew up with Girls Aloud in the UK. I grew up with bands and I love seeing like camaraderie. I loved the friendship of Rachel and Monica. I loved, well, Serena and Blair are frenemies, so I think we're going to get into that in a bit, but there's always a dynamic of like those two girls that are like sisters, that they don't have to be ultra similar, but they complete each other. It's something that I think we grew up watching as girls and we crave.
But I also feel like because I don't know, I feel like there's some unrealistic standard also, because like I also think that nobody talks about like you can be really close with someone but you also have to have boundaries. Like even with your closest friend, like it's very important to have boundaries. And I feel like sometimes a lack of boundaries, because we think like, these boundaries will stop us from getting closer, and then they end up being the catalyst to ending that relationship.
I think so. Boundaries in any relationship are important, but I think going back to just the expectation of staying friends with your childhood friends, I think there's an expectation that people don't talk about enough. Yeah. But it's similar to a divorce. Sometimes you're with someone for 20 years and 20 years down the line, people are like, it's a shame, why are you separating? It's because those people are so different. And, it's difficult to be around each other because there's a sense of disapproval from one party, and with childhood friends that I feel like I've outgrown, I feel like I can't have conversations because they'll reject the fact that I now think a certain way, but a 20-something-year-old shouldn't think the same way a 12-year-old, thinks. And if we've been friends for 10 or 15 years, sometimes there's this almost anger from one party to the other because how dare you change? How dare you grow? How dare you not be the same person? And they want you to stay in that same mold that they knew you in. And because they've evolved in a different way and you've evolved in a different way, sometimes it's not even that there's a clash, it's that if I met you now, I wouldn't be your friend.
Yeah. And I think that also like, I don't know the statistics of this, but I would say like 9 times out of 10, that's the reason why friendships end. Because you'd hear somebody be like, oh, she's not the same. She's changed. I can't be friends with her anymore. But I think, and I always say like love is accepting someone. Yeah. So if they change, like you can still accept them. Like
get to know them. It's like Shakira, I know is, Shakira got, she broke up with PK because she found out he's cheating, but she said, you don't want to just be the wife, you also want to be the girlfriend. And I think she gets flack for saying that, but I think the idea is that act like you're dating, same with friends, like listen to them. They're going through something new. Don't just take them for granted, respect them. Don't get lazy. Don't get complacent. Don't just go to your friend to vent and complain, go
trauma dumping. I can't.
Act like they're your new friends also.
Yeah. I also like, I every time I'm like, I get close to a friend, whenever that happens, like, okay, the first time, obviously when someone's distressed, you kind of let it pass. But then later I would be like, hey, look, I don't mind like being there for you, but just like check with me before, if I'm in a good mental space before you start dumping on me. Cause sometimes like you're going through a tough day and then like you get a phone call from your friend thinking that, oh, they're going to lift you up. And then they start dumping on you and you're just like, I can't do this right now. But going back to the point where you're like, your childhood friends, feel like when you change or grow, they feel like they take it kind of as rejection. And I feel like that's the same as well with mother-daughter relationships and sisters. But we're gonna have to talk about
episode.
We're gonna have to hold mother-daughter relationships, but it's the same thing. Like, because growing up, you look up to your mother and you try to like
emulate her, you
mirror her. You're obviously like a sponge, so you're getting everything from her. And then when you come into like adulthood and you're trying to become the woman that you want to be, obviously your beliefs change and all of that. And
it's almost like you want to be the opposite, because like, no, I don't want to be like you, mom, even if she's amazing. It's because you want to be your own person.
Yeah. And I think that kind of is a little also like rooted in misogyny
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. I mean, it's funny because I said this, I think the last time, feminism isn't taking your clothes off. It's not judging
Yeah.
other women
Yeah.
for taking their clothes off. Yet growing up in magazines, when we still used to read magazines,
Honestly, like
I miss them.
I missed magazines, even though like back then they would blame magazines for like the ridiculous beauty standards. But honestly, like social media right now is worse
So
than our beauty magazines.
No, I mean, we'd see, I don't know if you remember this, but we'd see who wore it better. So if two women wore the exact same outfit, or three, we'd put pictures and they'd be like, who wore it better? And like,
And it was so normalized.
why?
Yeah.
Why not just say it's a different way to style it?
Yeah. And it was rarely ever done to men. It was mostly the women.
No. Growing up in less segregated society, like, Paris, there's still, I mean, maybe not as much as there is here, but there was definitely this idea that, at least from the media, that there can only be one woman in every field. There's only space for one. So this is our actress that's famous and that's in every movie. This is the one black singer that's a big deal. Like, I mean, why are there not more?
Yeah. And that's
why are there not more of the same? You know, why does it have to be Nancy Ajam versus Haifa Wahabi, which there was when I was a kid. Like, you'd either like her or you'd like her. Why does there have to be one cool girl that does this? Why can't there be like 10?
But no, really, like that brings me to like when like men make up these rumors about, oh, women are jealous of each other. Like I hate that narrative where they're
She's jealous.
Yeah, okay, everyone gets jealous. Jealousy is actually a normal human trait and it's healthy. Like not to the point where you're acting on it or it turns into like envy. You know what I mean? But like even men get jealous. I swear to God, like I've seen men get jealous from their like friends, but they don't talk about it, or I don't think they're aware of it, like because
they're
we're more
ashamed of it.
We're more in tune with our emotions. Men show it in a different way, but they've created this narrative about women where they're like, oh, women are like female friendships, like they're always jealous of each other, they're always competing with each other. But I feel like they've created that narrative because they want us to have limited spots. So especially like I think in our society, like we grow up learning that you always have to fight other girls for male attention. You have to fight other girls to get the job.
Competition.
It's always competition. Like even when I worked in corporate, like you had to like fight because like, female managers, like
there'll only be one.
Yeah. And then there would always be like, oh, a female manager is the worst. Like don't ever get a woman manager. Like, you know what? Like male managers are also bad, but no one's like generalizing it. Like one woman fucks up and then everybody's like, oh, all women are evil. And
women being bad drivers.
Yeah. But I mean,
yeah. I'm not an example. I am a bad driver. It's not because I'm a woman. It's because I'm just a bad driver.
I think both men and women are bad drivers, but there are different ways. Like, yeah. Like I think
men speeding for no reason.
Men
suicidal on these streets.
Seriously. Not only that, like just like tailgating you and like with their big trucks because they think they're like these beasts. And I'm like,
a man. I drive a truck.
Overcompensating.
Glad you said it.
But no, like going back to that point of like limited spots for women, I think
it creates frenemies.
It really creates frenemies. And
you see girls in the same group competing for the same spot, competing for the same guy, competing to be the prettiest, the smart, and it's like, what are you doing?
And I think a lot of the movies that we grew up with also like there always was like this queen bee in the group.
I was going to say the one queen bee. What is that?
I don't know.
What? I'm going to follow someone?
Like we're all queens. There's space for all of us. Let's all support each other. That's why honestly, like I'm not going to hate on Euphoria. I actually love like how they
I know.
the girlfriend dynamic and how like, there is the hot girl. There is the different one. There is the like.
But the thing is like they're all actually hot girls.
Yeah.
And we never say, oh, she's blue eyes and blonde and the American girl dream, whatever. And then there's also like Alexa Demie, who whatever movie she's in, she's Alexa Demie. I don't remember her character's name. She's just Alexa Demie. Yeah. So there's Alexa, the cool Latina, who's I think now more with a trendy beauty standard.
Yeah.
There's Cat Gray. What is her name? Sky Cat?
I have no idea.
The one who dresses in bondage.
Yeah.
The one who dressed in bondage, I think she looks great.
I loved her style. Honestly, like
she had some of the best outfits.
I think she is who I wanted to be in high school.
Oh,
but I never had the courage to be her. You know what I mean? Like I so related to her. Yeah.
No, but they're
you see it, right?
I see it. I 100% see it. I mean, I get it though, because
and watching Euphoria, like at first I was like, no, I don't want to watch a show about like teenagers.
Not another high school teen show.
But then when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is so different than the shows that we grew up with. And watching her was so refreshing. And I was like, she is so cute.
But have you noticed
a shame what happened
how there's also not really like a popular girl or a loser? Like I think Zendaya plays a character that's really different from Alexa Demi's character. Yeah, they're friends. Everyone's just friends.
Yeah.
You don't have to dress a certain way. You don't have to look a certain way to be cool or liked or accepted. It's an archaic point of view.
Exactly.
It's not relevant. Yet with women, we see it time and time again. They look at you and sometimes they'll judge whether they want to interact with you or not based on your looks. And I think it's literally a societal pressure, you know? It's these archaic ideas that are being ingrained in them that, oh, she's too pretty, I don't want to be her friend. Or she doesn't dress good enough, you know, I don't want to be seen. It's funny because you have that side and then you have normal people who just will give a chance, you know?
Yeah. It's because I hate it when I hear women say like, oh, female friendships are hard. Oh, females are so hard to be friends with, blah, blah, blah.
You are the problem.
Literally.
Listen, if you don't have any girlfriends, you're like, I can't be friends with girls. They're all jealous of me. You are the problem.
It's giving pick
It's not
me.
us. It's so pick me. Like what you're gonna, what can a man offer you that I can't? He doesn't understand you.
Really. And I hate when girls are like, oh, I'm like so into like sports and stuff.
I love
like, oh my God.
I like shoes. It's not a personality trait. Liking something is not your unique personality trait if it's not the norm.
And honestly, like, okay, you can be into like stuff that men are into, but don't hate on like feminine girls or
makeup.
Be like, oh, ew, I don't put makeup. I had a girl who told me once that she was like, I'm not into makeup. I'm into like sneakers and stuff. Meanwhile, her eyeliner was like flawless. And I'm like,
why you lie?
Why you always lie?
Stop and lie.
Seriously. And I'm like, that's not cute. Like men don't want to see that. Like
men know you're a pick me.
You're never going to be one of the guys. Like, oh, I'm just one of the guys. Like,
you don't have what God gave them.
Immediately.
You are not the same. You're just not the same.
Like seriously.
You can be a woman and you can be feminine and you can love cars.
Actually, yes. Thank you.
And you don't have to hate women who don't love cars. And you don't have to look down on women. Yeah. We can all get along. But
seriously,
it's funny because it's always, so there's a stereotype. I think it's a very like Y2K stereotype that the hot girl with the makeup and the hair and the clothes is going to like think that it's going to be the mean girl and it's going to think that anyone that's not like her is like a loser. But actually in this day and age, it's the girls that are like so cool and into like stereotypical guy stuff that are actually mean and look down on everyone because they think they're better than.
And they're the ones who put down other women.
Yeah.
And they're the ones who are comparing themselves to other women. Like you're probably not comparing yourself to them. Like I'm sorry, like a hot girl is not gonna like.
A hot girl is busy being a hot girl.
Yeah.
And drinking water. You should hydrate, Zainab.
Put that on a shirt. Actually, yeah, let's take a hydrating break.
Hydration break. I really hope the mic caught that. That was like such a
yeah, my water.
Water ad. Water sponsor.
Water sponsor us.
I really want a water sponsorship.
Disaster. But no, that brings me to the story I was telling you. I'm going to tell you the story. Are you done drinking your water?
Yeah, story time.
Story time. So I
start it with once upon a time. Please.
Once upon a time, I worked at this agency. And
that shall not be named for legal reasons.
Obviously, we're not dropping names. But yeah, so I worked at this agency. It started out small and then we grew, and it was very female dominant. And I loved all the women who worked there. I am actually friends with almost all of them.
Almost
all of them. Even some of the guys who worked there were like some of my closest best friends I met at that agency. And it was like, there were so many creative people, like a lot of people inspired me. But anyway, so at some point they brought in a new managing director, and we all were like, oh my God, we can't wait till she comes along, because we felt like we needed someone to help us, like manage us and stuff like that. So this girl comes in, and immediately I think she was threatened. Like, you can sniff the insecurity like a mile away. And like, we told her everything like that we wanted her to help us out with, like our problem areas, what we felt like needed improving and all of that. And we really like opened our hearts to her. Like, we were like, oh my God, you're going to save us. She literally took everything that we told her and used it as ammo to appease to like the bosses who were men. And she would always try to like look good in front of them, and she never had our backs. And she was never part of, like, obviously like we would hang out like as friends and stuff like that, but she couldn't get in, and you know, she was trying, but we didn't really trust her. So fast forward to later, when like basically this company shuts down, whatever, months later, she has this blog where she talks about women empowerment, and she does these videos. Hold on. It gets worse. Okay. So meanwhile, all the girls that worked at the company, all of us, literally every single one of us was hanging out. We were hanging out at our house, and we find her blog, and she did a blog post about how she worked in a toxic female dominant work environment, and how all the women were tearing each other down. Keep in mind, we're all sitting next to each other reading this, laughing hysterically. And we were all like mind blown. And she said some horrible shit. And I was like, women like her are the problem. You are here running an account about women empowerment. Meanwhile, you are tearing down a group of amazing women who are all actually great with each other. We all got along with each other. We all were like, okay, we're all queens. None of us was like, I'm the queen bee, whatever. We all hang out to this day. We all hang out together. No one's friends with her. You know what I mean? Like, I just felt like it was the craziest thing ever for someone to do. And I was like, I hope, honestly, like, in saying this, I don't wish her like ill.
You want her to grow.
I really, like, if she ever sees this, like, I really want her to do some.
Look at her right now.
Please
like
do
you're talking
some
to
self-reflection and think back to all the things that you did and try to change. Do better, ma'am. Don't get bitter. Get better. There we go. But yeah, that was my crazy story that I wanted to tell you.
No, but actually, you know what I was thinking about as well, that we don't talk about enough, is that sometimes this will be on the mom episode, but sometimes I think our moms also, they try to help, but they'll compare. Bless their souls. We love moms. No, but they'll say things like, oh, look at your friend. She did. Listen, if you're a mother, please never compare your daughter's friends to her, because you don't know her friends. You may think you know her friends. You don't.
And then it's so funny that when you are like, oh, but my friend's parents let her do that. And they'll be like, oh, if she jumped off a cliff, would you?
Honestly, Mom, I would. I'd like, just right now, if you jump off a cliff, I want you to know I'll be holding your hand.
Coming with me.
Yeah. We're just, Mom, if you're watching this, don't ask me if she jumps, I'll jump. We're jumping together.
But like, to piggyback on your point, like, it's even worse when moms compare daughters to each other, like sisters.
Oh my God.
And like, I know, like, my mom did that to me and my sister, and I know she did it with the best intentions, especially like me being the second daughter, and my sister was like such a like the perfect daughter. She was just like, very, like, and I was like, I was crazy when I came out the womb. I was insane. And even if you look, I think I've showed you like baby pictures of me and Fatma. She was always like sitting there like a little lady. And I'm like, I looked stupid.
Your hair is out of place.
And I was like sitting like a crazy person. I'm either making like, I was so goofy. I was just so goofy. And actually I was a tomboy as a kid. And my mom
You were like, a tomboy?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Aww.
And I would get so mad because my mom...
It's just a phase.
It was just a phase. No, but really, like, my mom was so concerned because I would cry and I would be like, I want to go play outside with the
moms.
boys.
They're so concerned about this stuff.
Yeah. And I'm fine. Like, and then I grew up and became this like girly girl, and she was shocked.
Honestly, when I was 10, I was into Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Beyblade.
I have no idea what that is.
Okay, well, for anyone that remembers Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Beyblade and like those like remote control cars, trust me, I was.
Oh,
Well, no, that's different to them. But there was like a that was my vibe, and that was the boys' vibes. And it doesn't matter, you're a kid.
yeah.
It's not that deep. I know moms get worried because I see
Yeah.
I see my friends who are moms that are like, oh my God, they're not doing this heteronormative thing I want them to do. And,
Exactly. Yeah.
and then there's also the parents who are like, I'm not gonna call my kid like a name. They can decide who they are. No shade, you do you. It's not my problem. But it doesn't. None of these things matter. Your kid is just being a kid. I think during that time, just let your kid be a kid.
Yeah.
Don't force them to be something. Don't compare them to other kids. Just let children be children.
Yeah. Yeah, it is tough when you're being like, obviously it's tough when you're being compared to your friends, but then when you're being compared to your own siblings, it's hard, especially like where you have one sister and you're like compared to her. And I know, like, I'm sure my mom compared her to me and other times, and I don't think they're aware of it.
No.
Because like always, like our moms have the best intentions and they really, and I'm sure it's tough being a mom.
Yeah.
Like,
we're going to have a mom episode and I think we want to actually bring in real mothers, not just
we
daughters.
Need to. Yeah. Because like, as daughters, obviously we have a lot to say, but as mothers, I can't even imagine
I feel
raising.
Honestly, I feel so scared of being a mother. Like as much as I want to be, I'm also so scared because I understand the damage that a mother can do unknowingly.
Exactly. Yeah. But back to
girls being girlfriends.
Being girls and all of that fun stuff. So we were talking earlier about
marriage.
Marriage. What about marriage?
Married girls.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. So, okay, I just want to say this. Like one of the most hurtful things ever is when you're so close to a girl and then she gets married or she starts dating someone. Or
seriously,
whatever, and then you're a piece of shit. To her, you mean nothing. Her entire life is her boyfriend.
Zainab who? I don't know you.
Whoever it is, you know what I mean?
I know you.
I will hunt you down and kill you.
I'm very single. I'm dating.
Problem.
We're life partners. We have the opposite. We get married.
My husband, I'm gonna be like, I don't have time for you. I need to go see Mia.
It's such a problem.
Like it is my problem. Like I would want to spend more time with my friends than with my partner.
So that's why I need my partner to really get along with you.
Or to understand that I need space. I don't need space for my friends, but I need space for
Oh my God. When my mom hears me say this, she really gets so sad. She's like, where did I go wrong? But to me, just like men love their like guy time, I really love my girl time. I love being with my best friend because I don't expect my husband to really want me to, have girl talk with it. I hope, like he's willing to listen to me vent and like say my jokes, but let's not put out everything on one person.
Yeah.
We're going to have a marriage episode, guys. Don't worry.
No, but here's the thing. Like you said, he's going to hear you vent. Yes, obviously, like your husband's going to hear you vent. But male's first instinct when you start venting is to find a solution to the problem.
I hate it.
But with females, this is why you need female friends.
We can just listen
and egg you on. Like, how did that make you feel? Yes, go off. And we're going to support you. We're obviously gonna want to know the details. We're talk so much shit.
Men are not gonna talk shit. Men are not.
You know how like
why are you saying that?
When like
why are you complaining? Just be nice. Shut up. I don't seriously. I want to be mean.
No, but like when you're trying to get like tea from a man, and you're like, you didn't ask that question. They're like, no, why didn't?
Why? Who would ask that?
Like, you need.
When men say a story, oh my God, this is really getting anti-men. We love everyone. We don't love men that much. We clearly don't love men at all. Just kidding.
And now this is turning into I hate men episode.
No, listen, no, men.
We don't hate men.
No,
we just kind of hate them.
No, it's just they're insane. That's not the point. Tarek, I love you.
We only love Tarek. Stop laughing. I Oh, okay. Tarek has told us we have a 10-minute mark now, and Mia is gonna spend the rest of the 10 minutes talking.
I'm actually crying. No, okay, no, but it's like what I hate is I hate losing friends because all of a sudden, and listen, I understand when you're in a relationship, that's the priority. And I'm not saying it shouldn't be. When a girlfriend gets in a relationship, I genuinely stop expecting her to see as much. And that's completely normal. Like, we're not being
No,
stupid.
you're gonna see her less, but for her to like actually alienate you from her life, that's hurtful.
And that's what happens. A lot of my married girlfriends or girlfriends who got into a really serious relationship, all of a sudden they only hang out with other couples or they don't invite the single girls over. I mean, I've been alienated from a friend group by one girl who I grew up with. I was the one, I mean, the reason she knows all these girls, and all of a sudden she started hanging out with everyone, having them over and excluding me. And I know I didn't wrong her. I know, I mean, I'm pretty sure on my side there was nothing, but I felt it and it hurt because I thought, well, you know, why?
Yeah.
I think we don't talk enough about, because it's sort of taboo, but I don't think we talk enough about girls who get into relationships and they feel threatened by another girl.
Yeah.
And they don't want her around the husband.
Especially when their husband, boyfriend, partner, whatever, speaks highly of their friend. And it's like, shouldn't you be happy? Like, why is your immediate
If you're doubting something and it's not from the girl, first of all, if you're doubting the girl, she's not your friend.
Yeah.
But if you're doubting your husband or partner, are they really a good choice for you?
Honestly, but I still like feel that goes back to internalized misogyny because of how, you know, like the patriarchy has like conditioned women to believe that, you know, another woman is your competition. You know what I mean? And I think that's what happened in that case. Like you said, like she probably got threatened. And it's sad to say, like, I know you and I, like, we hate saying that, but we are more prone to these situations because I think, you know, we're so confident. We really do love lifting other women up. We're very much girls. And that sometimes gets us hurt a lot of times, actually.
No, I mean, more than just that as well. I think once you're in a relationship with a man, and I hope everyone's relationship lasts forever, if you have alienated all your girls, if the relationship goes, you know, to shit, it ends, you're alone.
Yeah.
And then what?
And I've seen so many situations like that where a girl has gotten married and she alienated all her friends and made the man her entire focus. And then a year passes by and she realizes like, okay, this isn't really fulfilling everything anymore because obviously you need your girlfriends. And then she tries to get back with her girlfriends. And I've seen this. And the girlfriends are like, no, ma'am, no, like you shut us out again. And honestly, like they have every right to do that because
your man's not going to be your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Your man is your man, and whatever relationship you have with your man is sacred, but he's not going to take the place of your girlfriend.
My aunt always says this and I love her. And honestly, like she's said this like a long time ago. I don't think she even remembers that she said this, but it had such a huge impact on me. And she would always say, the man should not be the center of your life. He's an extension of your life.
Like Cher a little bit. Cher said something like, man's like desserts. She said something so smart.
Yeah.
But I think, I think when you have a really solid group of friends and you have a really fulfilling life, whoever comes into your life is only going to add to it.
I read something earlier that I sent to you and I want to say that. What was it? Where is it?
Inspirational Pinterest code?
Inspirational? No, but it says basically female friends allow you to access your feminine energy because we live in a world where masculine traits are, you know, more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like expected, or they're more normal, like for you to want like, especially I think as a modern woman, like having a career and all of that, like you do have to kind of tap into your masculine energy, but play on your feminine energy. But sometimes I think we can get so caught up in our masculine energy. And that's why I think we need our girlfriends to bring us back to
being girls.
Yeah. But basically it says that hanging out with your girlfriends releases serotonin and oxytocin, the bonding hormones. And that's why I've been so happy ever since I met you.
I was like,
but no joke, like I feel like you really know, like, I have my moments where I'm like, like, panic, overwhelmed, whatever. And like, nobody really knows, like, none of my male friends would know how to handle me when I'm in that situation. Or like, I do have female friends who are very much in their masculine energy, and they'd be like, oh my God, are you insane? What's wrong with you? But you just like, you're like, I don't know what you do, but you're the
Just don't
Zainab
take it
whisperer.
seriously. No, but I that's the thing is, at the end of the day, we know that we can be over dramatic, and we know that as another fellow female, I get it.
Yeah.
Get it.
Because
I also get overwhelmed.
our hormones are different, and we shouldn't be ashamed of that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if my hormones are making me crazy, I'm not going to be ashamed of that. I'm going to unleash the crazy.
Unleash
the crazy. But I really hate when like men or people in general, like, they generalize about like women. Like, oh my God, women are crazy. Yeah, men are crazy too. Men are actually way more emotional than women.
And they pretend that's the thing, is men are
Anger
so insane.
is an emotion.
Yeah. Yes.
And men are angry most of the time.
Yes. I obviously love my male friends as well. Every friendship is so unique. But I think ultimately, what a blessing it is for me to be a modern girl and have so many amazing girlfriends that have each taught me something, whether it's the moms that live vicariously through the single girls, or the girls who, are incredibly religious and teach me about God through their faith, or the girls that absolutely aren't and live a very free life that are free of judgment of everyone. And I think I like looking at, the collection of girlfriends that I have, and seeing how different everyone is and how accepting and loving they all are. I think it really is a blessing.
That was so beautiful. That felt like an acceptance speech.
Acceptance.
I teared up a little. No, but you're right. Like,
I love it.
Yeah.
They're my sisters. And I can't wait for the day, inshallah, that I get to be like, hey, these are like my 26 bridesmaids.
Yeah, for real. Like, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, women, like, obviously, like, we do get jealous of each other, same way that men get jealous of each other, or even men can get jealous of other women, like, or vice versa. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, when one of us is in crisis, you rally up. You see all women like just drop everything. Like, everything does not matter except for making this girl feel better. I got goosebumps just saying that. And obviously, me having 5 aunts and like, obviously you see things growing up, and yes, as much as it was like a little damaging, because not only do you have your mom saying things to you as a teenager, you also have your aunt's opinion, obviously, because they're like, they feel like you're just as much their daughter. But I love all these women. They have taught me so much. And I've seen them, like, when, shit goes down, these women roll up their sleeves and they know what to do. Yeah. They will get it done.
When like push comes to shove, I think in a crisis, girls usually,
we come together. Yeah. And I feel like it's unspoken. It's not like we have to say it. Like, it's very unspoken. We really know how to comfort each other. We really know how to be there for each other. There are obviously exceptions. Yeah, some girls that are like,
no. So sometimes you tell a girl something and she freaks out more than you do, and you're like, there.
Yeah. Or sometimes you'll tell a girl about another person, like an ex or another girl who's hurt you, and they will hate them.
They will key the car for you. I love those girls.
Like, even though
unhinged, you're over it. They're not. I'm like that though with you, I think.
Yeah. I'm the same with my friends. Like, I get so mad for them that I'm like, you deserve better than this. Like, you should not be going through this. But that was beautiful.
Girl
the
power.
Future is female.
Girl power.
Girl power.
Wait, Hamhorn. Found out we had the same one. We're so happy. We're like,
oh my God. Sisterhood. Yeah. Like, I'm telling you guys, we're exactly the same
1,
person.
2, 3. Every AirPod user just passes out.
And I guess that just brings us to the end of the episode. If you love this episode,
share it with your girls.
Share it with your girlies.
Share it with your male friends who don't know what to do with you.
Exactly. Tell us what you think. Tell us about your experiences with friendships, losing friendships, whatever stories you want.
Send this to the married girl that is doing this to you also if you want.
Send it to her and tell her your man is not, or you're probably not going to want to see your man in a year. You're probably going to want to.
I'm going to hate him.
Yeah.
Men smell bad. I know there's going to be one man that is taking this seriously. He's like,
Yeah.
they're haters.
I know a lot of men are going to get offended, but it's okay. You're
We
not
just
going to
lost our
die.
male viewership.
It's not that deep. Okay. Just
You know
calm
what it never
down.
was?
Don't get emotional, men.
Honestly, this insane content. This blooper reel.
But anyway, so if you enjoyed the episode, like, comment, subscribe, all the above. And I guess that's a wrap.
Bye.
Bye.